So my shoulder's been pretty good today. It's been playing ball. I've been working, doing exercise demos. It's mostly been fine. A little bit of tightness this morning, and a few times just in certain positions, the nerve pain comes back, and I'm like, but it's minor, and it's just happened a couple of times, and it is literally just weird and wonderful positions. So what I'll do today, training wise, it's a weightlifting day. Snatches were going to be quite heavy, so I'm not going to go to heavy snatches. What I'm going to do is warm up really well, use some of the primers that I did yesterday, and then I'm going to overhead squat, just see if I can load that well. If I can load that well, brilliant, I'll clean. If I can't load the overhead squat super well, and it's feeling a bit funky, we'll maybe look at front squatting or something alternative that is gonna not piss my shoulder off too much. But hopefully it will respond really well to loading, because often as you get into a session and actually get the muscles working around it, everything actually feels loads better. So fingers crossed that is the way we're going today. That's the plan. So I'll keep you posted. So really good session. Managed to get overhead squats loaded. To like a deep weight. I'm really happy with. It was when I reached the top weight. I knew it was the top weight because I could feel my right shoulder, my left shoulder just started to kind of like do different things to stabilize. And I know that that's the point at which you're going to get some uneven force going through the shoulders. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to leave it here. Dropped the weight a little bit, hit some back offsets, felt amazing. Shoulder got quite tired towards the end, which is quite interesting. So I think just probably pitched it well in terms of the overhead work. The end of when I finished my back offs, I was like, I'm glad I finished my back offs. So if I had another set, I probably wouldn't have done it, just in case. Cleans were fine. Just was conscious of the rack position, but yeah, I managed to get to a nice RPE7 single, which, I could definitely have taken for another 3 reps. And that's all today was, just decent heavy single and then move on. So actually, in terms of my session, not much had to change, which is really fantastic. I feel really comfortable as well. Be able to compete, like, it's going to be fine. I'm pretty much back to normal life now, with just keeping an eye on doing some primers and just making it feel good before I get started. And I think that'll keep it in good nick. Until I forget. And I tend to find all day you might be like, oh no, you forget to do your rehab. Well, there comes a point where you don't need to do it anymore. So you probably at that point find it drops off the hierarchy list. And that's probably the point at which you stop doing it. So you don't need to, you don't need to like worry about like keeping super disciplined. If you don't need it, you don't need it. So, just one of them, isn't it? And in the future, I may need it again. We'll just see. Yeah, so I think overall it's been quite a useful little demonstration of like what a niggle can look like and how quickly things can change. On Wednesday afternoon, I was concerned. Wednesday night, I was like, oh no, I've done something quite bad. Thursday morning, I was like, oh no, I don't know how training's going to work. And here we are, Friday afternoon, and I've just managed to join in Big Friday with the team. I was never going to be maxing out today anyway, because I've got a comp day in the diary, so I know that it was only going to be probably what it was today anyway. I just would have snatched instead of overhead squatted. So all good, got some decent strength work for the snatching and happy days. I'm really happy with that. It was a shorter series probably than I anticipated. I thought I might take you to the sauna. Didn't even need to do that. I'm buzzed. I think probably just a demonstration in the fact that thinking optimistically but logically and rationally about what you can do and what you can tolerate. And obviously I have internalized a lot of information about what is safe pain to push through and what isn't safe pain to push through, and I would recommend that no one push through pain unless they are either competent at working out themselves, whether they're going to injure themselves, or they've consulted with a sports therapist or physio or somebody of that nature to say like, okay, I understand the parameters, I'm keeping it in. But I think it's a good demonstration of how if you keep trying to keep things moving, and if you keep trying to see what you can tolerate rather than making a load of assumptions straight away, you can actually get yourself out of what was quite seriously felt dysfunction. Like, it wasn't good. But yeah, here we are, and yeah, feel pretty lucky that I've got away with that one. Will be much more sensible about making sure my roll technique's on point in future. I know for a fact, like, if someone had asked me how I performed that roll, I'd have been like, I definitely put my hand on the ground, like, definitely. But looking at the back of the video, it tells the story, like, that's not what happened for whatever reason. So lessons learned, I will attend to technique. And yeah, fingers crossed, should be out the woods. And what I'm going to do is I'm now going to update you in the next video on what I'm actually doing with my training over the next few months, so that I feel like I'm pretty haphazard, but actually there's always a method in the madness. And I'm not massively prescriptive, but like, I'm always working towards certain goals. So I think it'd be really interesting to share with you how I think about my training and how I structure my training when I'm pursuing loads of disparate goals that might initially seem like, how are you even going to train for all of that? And, you know, a lot of the time it actually makes more sense on paper than it does probably when you see it and you're like, what's she doing? Thanks ever so much for joining me on this journey, and I will see you soon.